Alright, so I'm gonna do a little video explaining the Sayoc Kali rig that they wear, the Sayocs wear. I'll put relevant links below so you can check out their website, read their history, read what they're about. Their core maximum is all blade all the time. It is a combat system, so it's very geared and based towards blade fighting, knife fighting, if you will. Alright, so on their website, their store website, they sell their trainers. They sell actually some live blades. They also sell some training implements as well. They sell training karambits, training head axe, so on and so forth. They also sell the rig. And I don't have the perfect backdrop to show everything that I'd like to, so I'm going to be cutting to different angles so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I have on me now, and hopefully you can see because I know it's black against black, is the Sayoc rig. And now I made mine from scratch because at the time I had been training with a certified regional director for the Sayocs for Minnesota, a guru, Michael Melia, is a longtime friend and gym mate of mine, and he was leading the local Sayoc training group. And I just didn't have the funds at the time to purchase the actual gear, let alone all the blades and things like that. I was able to procure all the training blades over time, but as far as the full rig itself, which includes the belt, the pockets, the sheaths for the training blades, and the med pack, which you see here in the back. Okay. I did have leather though, because if you're familiar with my primitive technology channel, I do some leather working on there. I do leather working, so I had some leather. So I just needed a model. I was able to procure a model of one of the actual training rigs, and I went ahead and fashioned one myself. I do not sell these because I believe that the leather ones, A, it would be too expensive, B, it would be a matter of proprietal respect and proprietorship. I believe they've come up with this rig, and so you'd have to go to the Sayocs for that sort of thing. But anyways, I just kind of want to explain briefly what that's about if people have seen this in training. Again, this is just a training tool. It's one of many within the different martial arts, the Filipino martial arts. It is not how you're going to be walking down the street with. Okay, you get what you get if you did it. If you choose to do so, you're either going to get run up on by the law enforcement, or some idiot's going to approach you. All right, so I wouldn't recommend. This is good for the gym or the dojo, not for the street. However, first off, there's a lot of flow drills and a lot of training for the indexing and the positioning of the different blades here. And there's a reason for the belt, the whole rig here. One is, the main reason is that there's a lot of flow training that happens when you're working your Sayoc drills and things like that, and there's disarms, or you might drop your knife. Now if you drop your blade, the idea is not to track it. Okay, you don't want to train yourself to track your blade in the Sayoc methodology. The idea is that to go ahead and grab another blade that's indexed on your rig here. Okay, so it keeps the training flow going. It keeps you from tracking your blade or developing a wrong reaction to stimuli. Oh, I dropped my knife. Now I got to look for it, and in the meantime, your opponent is stabbing you while you're trying to, reach for your knife. All right, you should be indexing your blade to the original place where you got it from. Okay, on your rig. So that's the primary reason. Okay, so the secondary reason is that it represents possible places where you might be carrying a blade, mostly on your belt line, your pockets, your back pocket, the back of your belt, because here's some smaller trainers that are designed in the rig to go on the back here like that. And then thirdly, it is actually supposed to protect certain vital areas, at least in the lower extremities. And like here, these front ones here could go a little bit more forward. They would protect my femoral arteries. Okay, there's back ones here. I could put these in the back. The handles would protect my kidneys. I have some rubber trainers, and I like the rubber trainers. These are from Cold Steel. I have I believe this is the military one design of the trainer, and I, will tuck them in the back like this. All right, and this would protect my kidneys. Okay, so that's kind of the third concept of why you carry this rig. I have some other trainers here, rubber trainers that were the tantos. I tend to shorten the tantos from cold steel, just to make them more realistic to what you would actually carry versus a long 12-inch, 11-inch blade in regular society. And as opposed to carrying with the handles to the front, okay, which most people would think, kind of samurai style, they're carrying like this. What can happen is you're also trained within the Sayoc Kali system to go for the other person's weapon, okay? So the idea is actually you want to tuck these for the handle further away, so they're actually tucked in the back, and this towards the handles towards the back here. So I can still index them and engage them if I need to, but they're just tucked here, and then I can have two more, right? So right now, just for training purposes, right, I've got three. I've got another three, so 3 and 3 is 6. Plus I've got 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and 14. I actually have 14 blades on me right now. Okay, so again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so again, going into combat with that many weapons obviously is going to be a bit of a hindrance. Standing at your local bus stop looking like that, you're asking for trouble. Like I said, either for law enforcement or some kook on the street, or somebody who's got something to prove, I guess. So you get what you get if you choose to do that. In my all the years of training in martial arts, particularly the Filipino martial arts and JKD and whatnot, I've seen I've had encounters, and I've seen my share of different martial art kooks. I guess that would be borderline, but I have a little bit of emotional intelligence, and I understand, when what's appropriate and not appropriate. Okay, so again, the whole rig itself is to okay. So again, the Sayoc Training Rig, it's just a training tool, and again, it's mainly to represent or to keep you in the flow for different drills that you're using, and in case you drop your blade, you can index another blade and get it into play quickly, and you're not training yourself to track with your eyes or your body your dropped weapon. Okay. Also, they're positioned mostly in places that are vital targets. When you're doing blade work, you're looking for connective tissue, and you're looking for arteries, major arteries and veins. When you're working with blunt objects, you're looking for close to the bone that's close to the surface, knees, ankles, cranium, collarbone, etc., shoulders. So it's kind of opposite. So blunt is going to want blunt, and sharp's going to want something soft. Okay, so your femoral, your brachial arteries, your carotids, your jugulars, those are the things that you want to protect. And again, the way that this training rig is kind of designed, I can take some extra knives here, some training knives here, and just tuck them in the back here. And again, they're going to kind of protect my kidney area like so. And I will show you the pack later, what's in the pack. And a lot of you can either make your own, or you can go to the Sayoc website and purchase a pack of the equipment inside, the tools inside. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that, yeah, it's kind of, for a martial art geek, it looks cool, when you're in the gym or the dojo. Again, I wouldn't recommend you standing at the bus stop or walking down the street with a bunch of, even though there's trainers, people nowadays have no sense of perception, in my opinion, about anything or perspective, so they're not going to know whether these are live blades or not, especially if you're in your state that's not into that sort of thing. So you're liable to get stopped by law enforcement, or you're liable to have somebody, jump out at you. So this is just for the gym or the dojo. But on your own, if you carry a blade for a tool, mainly as a self-defense device, secondarily, then one is none, two is one, three is glee, four is more, five is live. So you want to have them in different parts of your body, and especially if you're serious about being able to defend yourself or someone else in the case of an emergency with a bladed weapon. Again, you got to know the laws of your state as regards to that. But again, this is just kind of my understanding of what the Sayoc Training Rig is about, and I kind of wanted to put that out there. Again, I've only trained, I think, about under the Sayoc system probably about 4 years, I believe, under Guru Michael Miria, who is the state representative for the Sayocs of Minnesota. I'll put relevant links below so you can get more information based on your region or your area, but just a brief overview, and also for my prosperity, because sometimes you forget sometimes. And mine is custom made. I made it out of leather. I trained with my daughter. I made her a smaller one, again, because I do a little leather work, and got some extra training blades with her. I did make a pouch for this one, but it's kind of the same device. It's adjustable. Yeah, it's actually not that hard to make for me personally, but at the time I just didn't have the money to purchase the actual Sayoc branded merchandise at the time. But over the years I've been able to procure their blades, their training blades. So anyways, I hope you got something out of this. Again, I'll put the relevant links below. I'm just regurgitating information. Not passing myself off as a true representative of the Sayoc martial arts system. I am a student under Guru Rick Fay out of Minnesota Kali Group, and Guru Dan Inasano out of Inasano Academy of California. Since I started training with Rick since 1987, and I became an instructor under Guru Dan in 1995. So it's good to stretch out and learn other systems, to understand your own or to gain other insight, and that's what I've done. So I know a little bit, not a lot, and the martial arts has treated me well throughout my life, since I've been 8 years old. So again, I just want to give a shout out to my instructors, and much thanks to them, and there you go. Alright, so I'm just going to show you what's inside of the pack. Again, this is my own design, made out of some softer leather, garment leather. I just stapled it, or have some snaps here to attach here to the belt. And then I have a Velcro patch to change it out. When I'm in Sayoc training classes, I put the Sayoc logo on. If I'm just in regular FMA, Filipino martial arts classes, and I'll put American flag on. And then these are just built with snaps just for quick release here. So basically, in any martial art, and anybody that knows martial arts, martial means warlike, and arts is arts. I mean, so you're practicing something that is war-based, combat-based, or at least that should be the spirit of it. Now, there is martial sports, which is in boxing and this UFC thing, whatever, MMA, whatever. The wrestling, Greco-Roman or shoot wrestling, that's martial sport. Then you have martial, heck, archery is a martial sport, in the Olympics, so on and so forth. Then there's martial fitness, there's people that do martial arts for the sake of fitness, the benefits of that, cardiovascular strength, coordination, speed, agility, so on and so forth, balance. And then there's martial combat, which is really kind of the realm that I've always studied in, because I've always had to, unfortunately, be put in positions where I might have to use my skill sets. So that's really what I've gravitated towards. So I don't really focus on any one martial art. I actually really like them all, and I know that they're all necessary, and it's important to study as many as you can get your hands on. But the thing within the martial arts is that because it's warlike, you're liable to get contact, okay? And if you're especially if you're studying in a weapons-based system, you're liable to get cut or a contusion, okay, or an abrasion or something like that. So basically, this kit contains basic medical kits right here. So these are snips to cut clothing or wraps. I have a tourniquet in here. Okay, so these are kind of the speed tourniquet. I've got duct tape. I've got gauze. I've got medical wrapping tape. I've got some quick clot kits. These are basically stretch and wrap tourniquets that I bought off of Amazon. I've got wet ones wipes to clean. I've got various baggies to cover wounds. Sometimes what you don't want to do is if you're impaled with something, say you get a knife on the top of the skull. The skull is actually is fused together from when you're a baby, and so there's weak points in the skull. So if you get struck in the head, the weapon should not be moved there on the spot. You need to keep that in. Sometimes you need to cover it, wrap it until you can get to a surgeon that can analyze when and how and where to extract that particular weapon. Even if it's a weapon lodged in the arm or the abdomen or the leg, you don't want to just pull it out right away. You want to keep that in. That's basic first aid. I've got med gloves, more wipes. Actually, these are suture kits that you can get on Amazon for stitching up. And you got to know how to do that. This is going to be wrapped with actual suture. What's in this leather is suture material, some shears and different things to actually do the suture with. I've got a video on that on my Primitive Tech channel on how to do that. But yeah, seek out proper medical instruction for that, so I don't lead you wrong and get anybody hurt. And then here's my American flag patch that I could just replace this out if I want to. So generally, this is what's going to be in your Sayoc pack from this Sayoc.com. I've actually just kind of piecemealed together mine. Based on what they have in their pack and what I think I would need in an emergency situation. And again, it's Sayoc Kali specifically is under the martial combat umbrella. All right, so they're not training for sport. Fitness is a byproduct of it if you're diligent about your training. And so incidental or accidental contact will happen, and you want to be ready to help someone out. And it's attached to my belt. And most people that have their rig that's fully stocked, you would use their pouch to help them or somebody else. Okay, so you have your own rig attached so that somebody can extract it from your own pouch, so someone can detach it from your rig and use it on you or someone else if needed. So I think that's a really very realistic mindset. I like that. I can appreciate where that comes from, and so just so people understand and know that that's kind of what the whole Sayoc rig is about. For some people, they think it's funny, they think it's silly, they think it. But those people I really kind of don't really pay much attention to, because I was a career bouncer for over 25 years. All right, I've treated a lot of wounds. I've wounded myself. I know what this is about. Most people are just operating out of either plain ignorance or willful ignorance, denial. So again, I'm not trying to make too many value judgments, but I've been doing martial arts since I was 8 years old. I've had to deal with the quote unquote unbelievers all my life, and whatever. But for those people that are truly interested, that's what's in a rig. You might even want to carry something like this just in your car in case something happens. A tourniquet is a good thing to have in your car. And I think I've explained that on my Primitive Technology channel. The link will be below. If you found this interesting or useful, like, share, subscribe. I'll put some links below to where you could donate if you feel so inclined. I'm going to be working more on building out this martial arts channel. I'm not getting any younger, so that's what I will be doing. I'll be trying my best to do as my schedule permits. So these are the suture tools. I just wanted to make sure I showed that. So these are the various suture tools, some tweezers as well, to pluck out. So I just kind of wrap these up to keep them protected so they don't cut my bag. And then they are available if needed. So I hope you found this video intriguing and enjoyable, and I hope this enhances your own martial concepts.